Cashiers of Reddit. What products make you silently judge the persons who buy them? Had a teenage girl come in with several members of her family. They all came up to the counter practically in tears and bought a pregnancy test. She then went into our bathroom to take the test, which I thought was odd. Seems like the kind of thing you do in the sanctity of your own home. Then the girl comes out, bawling, and then her family starts bawling and they're making a huge scene in the middle of my store. It was super duper awkward. When a guy buys feminine hygiene products and has to explain that it's for his girlfriend, dude, nobody thinks you were buying tampons for yourself. Ex-cashier of 5 years here. After a while you don't notice and it all becomes the same, because you're so familiar with the items your store carries. Only time I have made an extreme judgment based on items purchased was when a man came in and purchased peanut butter, dog treats, condoms, lube and rope. Not even joking. Yeah, that's the condom game. You try to buy the stuff that'll freak out the cashier the most. Donuts, donut holes, super glue. I work in a bookstore. I've had people read with shame while they bought 50 Shades of Grey and make comments about how I must think they're idiots. Look, I don't give a what you buy. At least you're reading and keeping my store open. Do you also get the weekly old men who proudly slap down their pee and mag on the counter? I used to work for Borders and those were always the nicest old men. No creepers. LOL. That was my grandpa. Awesome guy. Kept them hidden in the trunk of his car. Always would forget them in the grandchildren rooms when they left. All teenagers. Your grandpa was such a bro. My dad secretly gave me a Playboy subscription when I was circa 14. Got caught once by my mom and the look of pride on his face when I said I found it at school was awesome. I was the coolest motherfricker though. I always had the most recent ones. Every time I buy lube, I always get this feeling that the cashier thinks I am buying it to have butt X. Same feeling I get whenever I buy double-ended dildos. At what frequency are you buying double-ended dildos? If I was the cashier, I'd be more curious about how many you're trying to fit at once, or what the frick are you doing to require a replacement twice a day. They're using it to recreate XC Darth Maul battles. Obi-Wan Kenobi. One of our customers buys anywhere from 25-32 bottles of laxatives a week. Every week and not the oral kind either. Maybe he cares for a giant family of surprisingly healthy heroin addicts. Now I wonder if those laxatives have some sort of secondary purpose, like unclogging sinks or being a really effective plant fertilizer or something. From the looks of her I'm assuming it's how she stays 75 pounds. Oh, that's actually really sad. That's not healthy at all. I didn't judge, but it's a great story. I saw a guy in the condom aisle looking absolutely baffled. I am a pharmacist and went to help. With an inward sigh, some people have no idea how to use them. He said, I have no idea what I'm looking at. There are so many. I've been fixed for almost 20 years, but my boy's going to college, and I don't want him bringing STDs or any babies home with him. He got really excited when I told him about spermitic and bought 5-6 dozen count boxes. That's a good dad. Okay, quick story. I have an ultra-conservative Asian mom who never ever even mentioned X. Ever. When I got out of boot camp to my first duty station, everyone was getting care packages from home. Cookies, civilian clothes, etc. I got one from my mom. It was about 100 condoms, assorted boxes, with a note. Please be safe, and we will never talk about this package. Love, Mom. That's hilarious. Probably not so much for you at the time. My dad tried giving me the talk when I was 19. When I realized where he was going, I stopped him. Dad, I was having X 3 years ago. I know how it all works. Thanks. I really hate to admit it now, but I was a bit of an ass back then. I called my mom to thank her for the condoms. I told her I would be using them as soon as I could. I could feel her blushing over the phone. Hey, thanks Mom. I really appreciate you picking up half of my weekly condom bill. Bracelets that harness the healing energy of magnets. Every week, this woman bought a shopping cart full of toilet paper. It wasn't my business to ask why, but was curious. How could anyone or any family use so much of it? One day, she said that she was glad it finally went on sale, because she donated most of it each week to the 2 homeless shelters in town. I thought that was so great. That took an unexpected nice turn. Was expecting I like to play mummy with my kids. I've been watching British shows for the past week, so I had to take a good 20 seconds to figure out what you were saying. Are you my mummy? I cashiered at Home Depot. Had a dude in his mid-20s pull up to my register with rope, duct tape, cleaning gloves, tarp, bleach, Febreze, cookies, bucket, sponges. I rung him up. I didn't even notice what he'd purchased until he came back in. He just said, "Dude, I could be planning a murder and you didn't even care." What the frick? I just lost $20. Then he went to return everything except the cookies. True story. Real murderers use self-checkout. I would be more inclined to think that real murderers would spread those purchases out over several locations and days. Cash only. Sir, I make minimum wage. They do not pay me enough to care about what you are doing with that rope and tarp. When parents with very overweight kids buy nothing but junk food, do you judge people who are high and buy junk food? I worry sometimes. Also, can you tell I'm high when I do it? Usually after you leave my coworkers, and I will comment about how stoned the last guy was. We'll laugh briefly and get on with things. We don't judge you. We mostly envy you. Hurrah. I had a cashier at Walmart a few weeks ago that was so stoned. I swear it felt like I had a contact high. Time stood still and I started to forget why I was there. Once I left, I felt sober again. When I made it to the parking lot, I swore I found his car. Newer VW Beetle with flame decals. Your total is so much. Do you have so much with you? Because I need a lot for this lot. A Vietnamese lady came in a day after Valentine's Day to buy candy. She bought hundreds of bags. I made a joke about how the dentist bill must be insane, and she told me how she sends the candy to orphan homes in Vietnam, because they don't have candy there apparently. Don't judge a book by its cover, guys. I know a guy that purchases cases of water-based lube every other week to donate to homeless shelters. What? Homeless people tend to have dry elbows. Hey Hank, my elbow won't go in your ass all the way. Give me more lube. I worked as a cashier at Kmart once and it was like my third week there, and then this couple came into my line. They were buying lube, tissues and condoms. As awkward as it was, I had to ring them up. Then out of the complete blue the guy asks me, "Hey, you should ask me what I'm going to do with those." My supervisor turns and looks me dead in the eyes as a literal ball of sweat drips from my brow. I'm awestruck. I continued to ring them out in silence, then I say I'd rather not. They both laugh at me and I just continue to ring them out. Heavy judgment, because the chick was really hot. Kmart was my first job. I loved when Mexican dudes would come into my line with multiple packs of man thongs. Other than that freaking job sucked. You say that like there were multiple occurrences of this. It happened on the reg. Can confirm. The Latino heat is real. Every time this question comes up, I wonder, what makes you think I think anything about you? I think about my feet hurting, my back aching, and how long until my shift ends. You? Not so much. I'm a cashier and this is it. The only time I think about the customers is when they're doing something actually annoying. So if you're not licking your fingers before touching the bills, being super critical about how I do things, telling me the same stupid joke that I've already heard 5 times this shift, or anything generally annoying, I don't care what you buy. Licking your fingers, or sneezing into your wad of cash, or pulling it from a sweaty crack of your body, or giving me all the soda-soaked change from your cup holders. Ah, my favorite joke. Me? This didn't scan correctly. Them. That must mean it's free then hoi doi doi. LOL. Or you're standing there at a free register during a lull, and they come up with a full trolley like, you look bored. Here's something for you to do. When parents get angry at their kids for wanting a 50p pack of stickers, or some cheap child's magazine saying we don't have enough money for that, whilst paying for cigarettes and lottery tickets. Sometimes I just lie to my kids about not having money, because we have so much of this randomness at home that I think I'm going to scream every time I open a drawer in the kitchen. As a parent of 6-year-olds, twins, I could not agree with you more. It's like every goddamn step I take I am stepping on a coloring book or random pack of some kind of bullet that I just said fine you can get it if you just shut the hell up about it. Not a cashier, but I learned the other day that apparently you get judged for buying alcohol at 7 a.m. The cashier was pretty vocal about it, and if I wasn't so non-confrontational, I would have told the manager. She flat out said something along the lines of, "It's a little too early for boozing up, don't ya think?" 1. None of your business if I'm drinking early in the morning. 2. It was on sale during a routine trip to get milk and such. Am I supposed to just leave it and come back after 5 p.m. to buy my alcohol? However, when I got home, I realized how my entire purchase looked. I got milk, chocolate milk, Lunchables, also on sale, and a strawberry daiquiri. She probably thought I had kids or something, so I understand her concern. Kind of. She didn't have to say anything, though. It really struck a nerve. That is so dumb. Just because you're buying alcohol at 7 in the morning doesn't mean you're gonna go home and drink it immediately. Do you buy a week's worth of groceries and go home to eat it all right away? No. Do you buy a week's worth of groceries and go home to eat it all right away? Yes. Generally the time I'd say, well, I got a long drive. I work nights. WHO do you think keeps the city running while you're asleep? Me? I just finished a 16-hour shift, so please keep your assumptions to yourself. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.